Alright guys, this is the time we're going to step in the ring with the greatest faction in podcast history. Just Freakin Wrestling, the JFW podcast, hosted by Travis-T.
I'm Dizzle J.
Guys, we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to talk about today. Not even just the results and everything of the past week of wrestling, but because of a lot of stuff that I kind of was seeing on like social media, as far as like, you know, kind of like this day in wrestling history and stuff like that. Right. It brought up a lot about the past, and obviously some of the things that happened on SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. I compiled some questions for you.
Cool.
So we're gonna do that. We also got to do our pay-per-views. We decided to do some like with the pay-per-views and stuff for the month.
Create our own pay-per-view schedule.
Yeah. Which my list is right over there on the desk. Now that I realize it, but it's also up here.
Yeah.
So I'll rewrite it as we do this because I'm not getting up. Because then we have to edit.
Where's our interns? Where's the intern?
Where's the fucking interns? Anyways,
no interns.
But we're going to dive into all this here, but I just want to remind all of you guys that this episode of Just Freakin Wrestling is brought to you by ballwash.com. Go to ballwash.com, pick up any of the amazing products you have available. Boxers, shampoos, conditioners, body washes. They got a nut rub, which is kind of like a cologne for your genitals. They got a ball guard kind of powder. It goes on like a lotion, dries like a powder. Fill your cart with all these products and everything, guys. And then when you hit that checkout and you're about to pay, put the promo code FREAKNET, FREAKNET. Saves you 15% on your entire order. Ballwash.com. Get the funk out of your junk. You want to talk about Audible?
Audible.com / audibletrial.com / JFW, right?
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
It's okay. No,
I'm not the promo guy.
No, it's fine. It's not like I do it every week.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're just like me and a huge fan of books and history, just not a huge fan of reading about them yourselves, Audible is the best place for you to go. One-stop shop for all audiobooks. If you go to audibletrial.com / FreakNet today.
That's close.
Yeah. You can save you get a free subscription for 30 days. On top of that, you get a credit to your first book purchase. And from what I discovered, as well as Dizzle J, because we both used Audible in the past, they have so many wrestling autobiographies and biographies that are available to you. You can check out the history of WCW, some autobiographies of Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Bret the Hitman Hart. The list goes on and on. I mean, every wrestler has their own pretty much biography.
Jericho reads this to you, too. And I thought that was awesome to me.
Yeah, most of them should do that.
Yeah,
I would love to hear Foley tell me his story.
Because it just makes the book come more to life to me. And I'm the same way as you. I'm a big comic book guy. Not so much a huge book guy, but I love history.
Yeah.
So, for me, it was great. I enjoy it. I listen to it on the way to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, even outside of wrestling, like when I go and I actually decide to read a book, a lot of it either has to do with like historical true crime, serial killers and stuff like that. But even like, you know, like Civil War, Revolutionary War era kind of stuff like that. Theodore Roosevelt with the Rough Riders, the Old West and stuff. I'm a huge fan. And all those books are available at Audible. And you get 1 credit to a free book purchase plus a 30-day free trial just by going to audibletrial.com / FreakNet today.
Listen to yourself some books.
Right. Long car rides, sitting at home doing nothing. COVID, right?
Got to put the kids to sleep in the car.
Right. Literature. All right. Let me talk a little bit about Raw.
All right.
If you guys remember, we also are doing this new thing with the show. We're rebooking some stuff, so I do have a couple things to rebook for WWE. SmackDown, not a whole lot, just because pretty much they dedicated the entire show to The Undertaker's retirement. If
nice.
you guys had a chance to check out the Undertaker Last Ride 5-part documentary series, which is a span of, I think, like 3 years they did it. It's really cool. So make sure you check it out. All 5 episodes are available now on the WWE Network for just $9.99.
$9.99.
Or you get a free one now?
Yeah, they got a free one now.
Jag-offs. So, all right, guys. Let's go ahead. All right. Let's dive into Raw. So we opened up. We had Drew McIntyre kind of coming out, talking about his championship a little bit, talking about everything going on, you know, past and what the future holds for him. And then fucking Dolph Ziggler comes out. Makes a surprise debut, if you will, to Raw. Being part of a trade, I guess, with SmackDown. Obviously, we've seen AJ Styles get traded over to SmackDown, become the new Intercontinental Champion.
Yes. And a classic with Daniel Bryan.
Very good. It was between that, even the WWE title match between AJ and Bryan back in the Daniel Bryan heel turn.
God.
We saw Dolph come out. Obviously, Dolph announces that him and Robert Roode, have been traded over to Raw for AJ Styles. And Dolph decided that he wanted to challenge Drew McIntyre for the title because he said if it wasn't for Dolph, there'd be no Drew McIntyre.
He felt it was owed to him.
Yeah.
I did see this segment.
Yeah, the entitlement.
Yeah.
Fucking Dolph. So, I mean, that title match has been set up for Extreme Rules. It's Extreme Rules Horror Show.
So, see, I know in the past, our problem with Extreme Rules is the rules aren't very extreme.
No.
So this one hasn't been set up for any kind of extreme rule.
No. Huh. No, not so far, no. Except that swamp match.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. All right. Following this promo, Nia Jax came out, was talking about how it's surprising or she's not surprised Charlotte has a women's title match against Asuka tonight. You know, because, again, it's the same promo that she shoots. It's the same thing everyone did with John Cena.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're just handed this, you're handed that because Ric Flair is your dad. A little scuffle broke out. R-Truth came out during this promo talking about how, like, maybe it's not really Nia, maybe it's Tozawa because ninjas are masters of the skies and stuff. But apparently Tozawa has ninjas now.
Yes. One big ninja.
Yeah, God. So, not a whole lot going on in that promo either. I mean, Charlotte did come out, did get in a little quarrel with Nia. Ended up holding her left arm, which we're going to find out that she's going to be out of action, at least until SummerSlam because of the injury, which I think it's been an injury she had for a while. Because I watched actually that segment a couple times to try to find the Nia Jax botch moment where she fucked it up, but it wasn't really there. Viking Raiders finally had their tag team title match against the Street Profits. Street Profits picked up the win. Got attacked from Andrade and Garza afterwards. My rebooking for this would have been Garza and Andrade coming out in the middle of the match, causing a disqualification, which ultimately turns into a triple threat tag match at Extreme Rules.
Ooh.
Like ladder match even.
Ooh.
Right?
Man.
That's my rebooking.
It's almost like Heyman sitting next to me.
Right. Well, he's not sitting next to anyone anymore, apparently. So.
Yeah.
Asuka and Charlotte had their women's Raw title match where Asuka picked up the win due to Charlotte's bad elbow. Like I said, out at least until after SummerSlam.
It's about time that they give Asuka the win over Charlotte.
Yeah.
To me, Asuka's a better performer anyway. I know Dally wouldn't agree, but again, I stand by the fact that Charlotte needs to be a chaser for a while or step back and then come back out. Like, I thought when they were going to do the Crazy Queen gimmick, I thought that would have been great.
Yeah, they kind of backburnered that like too quick. Yeah. So, a little bit weird, but yeah, Asuka did pick up the win, which is awesome. Still champion. She got challenged by Sasha later on in the night for a title match at Extreme Rules. Contract signed to happen this coming Raw. Randy Orton, they kind of showed the issues between Orton and Flair and Edge and Christian, if you guys remember from Backlash. Yeah. Randy Orton did pick up the win over Edge from a cheap shot low blow and a punt. And then last week, there was an unsanctioned match between Christian and Randy Orton to where Flair came out, low blowed Christian, and he ultimately punted Christian, which I called it just 2 weeks late.
Yeah, yes. And we talked about that last night.
We did. Tozawa won the 24/7 title after there was supposed to be a Tozawa R-Truth match. Lashley came out, beat up all the ninjas, beat up R-Truth because R-Truth cost him a WWE title match. Because again, if you guys remember from last week's Raw, there was a tag team winner takes all match, which R-Truth prevented Lashley from picking up the win in that match to have Drew retain his title. Liv Morgan had a match with Natalya. Natalya being accompanied by Lana, who recently has been asked for a divorce from her husband, Bobby Lashley. And I don't know why I put Bobby Lashley in quotes. It should have been the other way. Husband, yeah. Bobby Lashley. Natalya picked up the win against Liv Morgan. Obviously, Liv Morgan's a little distraught by this because when Ruby Riott tried to talk to her in the back, she said, "Not now, don't want to hear it," and just walked away. See here, what else happened? Iconics took on Bayley and Sasha for the women's tag team titles. Bayley and Sasha picked up the win. And Sasha challenged Asuka to a Raw Women's title. She's happy that Bayley is Bayley Dose Straps or whatever she calls herself.
I thought that McMahon didn't like him being called Straps. Because didn't Braun get in trouble a couple years back for saying, I'm coming for the strap?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. If you remember, it's all about equality.
Yeah.
So women could do more. Equality.
Quality.
VIP Lounge. Apollo Crews was our guest on the VIP Lounge. VIP MVP told Apollo Crews, hey, you should be with me and Lashley. Let me take you on as a client. Ultimately, it broke out in a Shelton Benjamin Apollo Crews match. And Crews picked up the win against Shelton. MVP is applauding from the top of the ring, top of the entrance and everything, which I pray to God it happens because it feels like, I'm not saying WWE listens to us, but we did talk about a rebirth of the Nation of Domination.
Ooh.
So.
That's funny because in my notes we're going to talk about a rebirth of something too.
Fucking rebirths are awesome.
Rebirth.
Match finally closes out with a segment with Rey Mysterio and his son, talking about how his son came out last week on Raw, attacked Seth Rollins, was able to escape the Messiah and his minions, but the real word is not minions, but
disciples.
You need to know this stuff, man. You need to know what I'm thinking of. Joey don't let me down. But yeah, he was able to escape them. Ray came out and said that you scared me for doing that. I understand why you did it. You fought for me. Now I'm going to fight for you. And Rollins came out. Then you saw the disciples come out. And right before the disciples were about to attack Ray and his son, Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo came. Back and forth, a lot of fighting. It looks like they were going to gouge out Rollins' eye until the disciples came back, kind of helped him, and then they're about to gouge out Dominic's eye when Humberto and Aleister regrouped and kind of fought back again, kind of close out the show. So a lot of back and forth in the final segment. It seems like they're kind of building up some kind of match in the future. I'm hoping it's a Humberto, Aleister, Dominic versus the Monday Night Messiah and Disciples. Give Dominic, give him a match. Why not?
He must be something in the ring in order for WWE to let him continue to do this. I don't think they would do that like they did before with, or WCW did before with David Flair.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Dominic's training, like all of it. I know that he trained with Lance Storm in Canada. I think he trained with Rikishi, too, at his school. I'm not entirely sure. But I know Ray told him, which it kind of goes back to what you're kind of saying about Charlotte Flair, is learn from as many people as you can from different areas before coming to the WWE.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, the WWE is going to kind of mold you into a character and an entertainer, but you need to get that wrestling aspect behind you. And Lance Storm, probably arguably one of the most underrated wrestlers in. Which actually, I'm going to add him to a list that we have here. I have for you in a little bit here. But let me ask you some of these questions I got, because I don't want to wait till the end to do all these.
Okay.
I kind of want to do them as we go. So the first question I have for you here is, out of these 4 wrestlers, who should hold the WWE title in the future? The near future. Like the next person out of these 4. Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Rey Mysterio, or Aleister Black?
Ooh, Black would be awesome.
Black?
Yeah. I would like to see... Because it's been a lot of big guys as of late, besides like Rollins and AJ. But I would like to see like an Aleister Black, who's just your out of the norm kind of character, who has all the tattoos, who has the striking ability to take down pretty much anybody, I would assume.
I'm sorry, we're talking about Black or CM Punk?
Black.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Oh, that'd be a cool
The
match.
description you're talking about here. I'll talk about who's the next person Brock Lesnar should put over? Karrion Kross, Strowman, Fiend, or Aleister Black?
Black would be cool, but I think it would make more sense for it to be Kross.
Kross? Okay, I believe it. This one I'm going to wait till NXT. So, I'm good right now. Cool. That's it for Raw.
All right, Impact, Tuesday night. I was telling you about Impact earlier. To me, it's getting to be what WWE used to be, with more video packages and more backstage stuff.
I gotta say though, I am impressed that you have a notebook.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that I bought you a notebook?
No.
I didn't. But guys, if you wanted to buy a notebook, You can buy your very own JFW notebook at tpublic.com just by searching JFW. Guys, we have so many designs that are available on a plethora of merchandise. T-shirts, as you see what we're wearing. Travis-T, Dizzle J 2020, make wrestling great again. I have it in black, I also own it in blue. But you can pick any color you want that we have available on the site. As well as Dizzle J's Mental 33% shirt. Here we have the graffitied brick wall. Or still we have the original Dizzle J shirt. There's also available on the site.
Yeah.
We got the old JFW logo. We got the new JFW logo. We got Dali's shirt available on there, as well as some Freakin Studio shirts, and we do got some This Freakin Show shirts. It's all part of the Freakin Studio market that we have built up. So check it out again, tpublic, TEPUBLIC.com, just by searching JFW.
Freak
Studios.
So again, Impact is just becoming... I had a hard time watching it. It was real boring. The matches were pretty okay. It started out with Tasha Steelz versus Naomi. Steelz wins with a double German suplex and then a schoolgirl.
Oh, schoolgirl? Okay.
I think it's called a schoolboy, but...
Schoolgirl.
Yeah.
Equality.
Johnny Swinger, he's looking for a third man to join their tag team or triple man tag team bout tonight, and no luck. He tried a couple different people. They told him no. Rich Swann told him no. Willie Mack's my friend. So that keeps going. Moose is talking to a bunch of people about being the TNA champion. And we all know it's Impact Wrestling right now. So Crazy Steve comes up, calls him a fake champ, and makes fun of him, squeaks the horn at him. And I thought that was a funny segment.
Yeah.
Because Crazy Steve is crazy. So Moose challenged him to a match, and Crazy Steve walks away. He's like, I'm going to be the next fake champ. Deonna Purrazzo makes her in-ring debut against Alicia Edwards. Purrazzo taps out Edwards. She didn't have a lot of issues with Jordynne Grace, so Jordynne Grace came out at the end of the match to try to get her hands on her, but Purrazzo got out of the ring before to do so. The North was talking a bunch of shit about Ken Shamrock. If you remember, Ken Shamrock is now in Impact Wrestling. Yeah. Shamrock rocks up behind him, which sparks a match between him and Alexander, part of the North. Shamrock comes out of the ring, North jumps him, no match happens. Taya Valkyrie versus Susie, which used to be Sue Young, the Undead Bride. The match was mediocre. I prefer Susie as Sue Young.
Yeah.
Because she's got like this bubblegum kind of crazy gimmick going on right now.
Like an old Liv Morgan? Like the Harley Quinn Liv Morgan?
Yeah, kind of like that, but like a little more... not good. Valkyrie picks up the win and then just berates her for her gimmick in the ring.
Gotcha.
So Chris Bay, Johnny Swinger, they finally find the guy, Rohat Raju, to fill in their three-man spot against the Deaners and Willie Mack. Now the Deaners, I think you would like them. They're like some country boys, big boys, and I enjoyed this match. Chris Bay and Swinger picked up the win by sacrificing Rohat Raju to Willie Mack. Mack hit him with a stunner, and Bay came off the top rope with a off-the-top rope famouser. Was the best way I could describe it.
Okay.
The last match of the night was Eddie Edwards versus Madman Fulton. Madman Fulton previously with OVE. Fulton wins. This is a pretty heavy-hitting match. Fulton's kind of...
yeah.
He's crazy. And the Impact. So this is where I was talking about. There's some rebirth. So D'Lo Brown's sitting at his little computer messaging somebody talking about, oh, the fam, we're going to get back together, da-da-da-da. He gets up from his chair, and he goes to grab his coat. And on his coat is the Aces and Eights leather.
So I wonder if he's going to be like the president of Aces and Eights then.
Well, see, they have been cutting a lot of promo videos where it shows different stars from WWE getting cut, and there's a person sitting there in a hoodie, and they said, come Slammiversary, someone's coming back. I think it's EC3.
It seems logical to be EC3. He would be the biggest, pun intended, impact to Slammiversary. At the same time, like I don't know, like, because we don't follow a lot of Ring of Honor, so I don't know what Bully Ray's contract is like at Ring of Honor.
He's a booker now.
So he doesn't even wrestle anymore.
I don't think he wrestles too much anymore.
Okay.
Ring of Honor is, man, unfortunately, I think they're one of the ones that are really getting hurt by the pandemic because they were already going downhill before COVID. So I can't imagine that they're doing much better now. Yeah. I know, what's his face? Marty Scurll is part of the booking team too now. So hopefully that'll breathe some more life into Ring of Honor. Because I would love to have wrestling 7 nights a week.
Yeah. God, I wish. That's the end for Impact?
Yeah. Oh, also Carl Anderson on Twitter has been making not snide remarks, but like
about the
remarks about Slammiversary.
Okay, I remember I saw some posts about like people talking about, because obviously a lot of wrestlers are being re-signed to WWE under like cheaper contracts, and Carl Anderson's name was mentioned. And he put some Twitter posts out to say "no fucking way" or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, Gallows and Anderson would be pretty cool for if they were to like help lead the Aces and Eights.
See, that's what I was thinking after the D'Lo Brown thing. I was like, well, Gallows was in the Aces and Eights.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I like Gallows. I hated that WWE watered him down. And it's the same with Carl Anderson, because those two nerd. What the fuck is that shit?
It was funny. I liked it.
I
fucking liked it.
They hated it.
It's all because WWE needs to have that bully so they can have the fucking stand up.
Like the bully, be a bully. Don't be a TV bully. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah, lunch money bully. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but then he shouldn't be taking lunch money from these guys.
God, it would be cool if he did.
That'd be awesome.
Right? Like, they're in fucking catering. He's like, give me your lunch money, and then the producer's like, all the food's free. Nerd, and pushes him down.
Holds Humberto Carrillo upside down, just chilling.
Oh, God. NXT opens up with Cameron Grimes attacking Damian Priest. They're supposed to have a singles match, so Cameron Grimes obviously comes out, assuming that Damian Priest ain't going to make it out. Priest did, and ultimately did lose to Cameron Grimes. He almost came back, but he didn't. So now he's kind of excited and bragging about his win over Priest, just like when he bragged over his win with Finn Balor about a month ago. Robert Stone met up with Rhea Ripley again, trying to convince her to join the Stone brand, telling her that nobody gets a second chance. He did sign Aaliyah as a client and offered Rhea Ripley a golden ticket to a second chance. And Rhea Ripley threw him in the dumpster. Which ultimately got Leah slapping her in the face, and Rhea said, I'll meet you in the ring and everything. Santos Escobar, if you guys know, is the interim cruiserweight champion right now. He's formerly known as Phantasmo.
Yeah, so I was wondering if that's the same Phantasmo from Lucha Underground.
I don't know.
Because I saw the name, and I recognized the name.
Yeah. Well, now there's a faction. It's like Gatos de Fantasma, which I believe is Spanish for Fantastic Cats. So.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds right. Gato. Gato just sounds like a badass, name of anything. Like, what was that? Fucking, The Rundown with The Rock, when they're trying to find the Diablo del Gato or something like that, the Devil Cat or whatever. Gato del Diablo. Santos took on Jake Atlas, who Jake Atlas was trying to find retribution for, I keep wanting to call Rockstar Spud, but Drake Maverick, after Santos drove Drake Maverick through a chair using like his kind of like spike, I can't remember the thing's called, but sit out fucking suplex thing. Santos did pick up the win. Obviously, being the dominant guy, now he's kind of a drug lord leader or some shit. I don't fucking know. I don't know if that's fucking racist for assuming because he's Mexican, but whatever. The
El Champo of NXT.
All right. God, I fucking hate this name. Cantazaro, the girl from Ninja Warriors. Ricochet's girlfriend.
Okay.
Where's Ricochet been?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Huh. Anyways, her and her tag team partner Carter took on the tag team of Dakota Kai and Gonzalez. Dakota Kai and Gonzalez picked up a win. Gonzalez was a fucking monster in this match. Had Canizaro up in it seemed like a one-arm shoulder powerbomb, kicking Carter with a big boot while doing it, slamming her down. It was an absolute amazing fucking thing to see. And it got me kind of thinking, like, looking at Gonzalez and everything she's doing in NXT, she seems to me that they're building her to be the next China. Like, China Bowl, not ninth world of the world China, but Hunter Hearst Helmsley bodyguard China.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that's the case because she is a fucking powerhouse, and she could run through the fucking Divas division.
Women's division.
I know what I said. Karrion Kross took on Bronson Reed, which I talked about this a little bit earlier. Bronson Reed, this was actually a back and forth match. I think there was more offense from Bronson Reed than there was from Ciampa from the TakeOver.
Really?
Yeah, and the thing was, like, no matter how hard Bronson Reed hit Kross, he didn't go down. He just laughed. Kind of just laughed it off. So ultimately, he put him in the cross jacket, picked up the win. Obviously by tap out. If I was to rebook this, I would do it more as them calling the match because Bronson Reed passed out. And that way it leaves it open for a series of future matches saying that, hey, yo, I may have passed out, but you never beat me. Because we do know, well, we'll find out here at the end, Cole is facing the winner of a triple threat match later on in the evening at the next TakeOver, for title versus title. So obviously Kross isn't going to be in that next match, so you need something for Kross to move forward. So just put him in a series of fucking matches against Bronson Reed. Being a big powerhouse dude, it makes sense for him to get offense on Karrion Kross. And at the same time, you know what Karrion's capable of, so when he does constantly pick up the wins and stuff, it makes sense.
It makes him more balanced.
Yeah. It gives him a relevant storyline to follow for the time being. Rhea Ripley had her match with Aaliyah, picked up the win. Robert Stone gets a hold of William Regal and says, we demand a rematch, blah, blah. We want this. And Regal said, fine, if you guys want a rematch, then you both will take Rhea Ripley on next week in a handicap match. And the stipulation has been confirmed and agreed upon by both parties. If Rhea loses, she is now a client of the Stone brand. So we're going to find out next week if Rhea Ripley is going to be managed by Robert Stone.
Ooh. That's a nice little twist.
Dexter Lumis took on Roderick Strong. Match never really started. Bell rang. Strong was too freaked out, ran away, got counted out. Nothing too exciting. And then we had the triple threat match, Lee, Gargano, and Balor. Triple threat for North American Championship. Winner go on to face Adam Cole in a winner-takes-all match. Lee retained the title, and now he's going on to face Cole. Ooh. Great match. A lot of high spots, obviously being Gargano, Lee, and Balor. You expect something great, and all of it was awesome.
That sounds like an amazing match.
Yep. So my question's for you. New faction starts in WWE. They're called the Punks. Don't know why. You call them whatever you want. I'm going with Punks. It consists of Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley. But you need a fourth. So what would you choose? Would you choose Aaliyah to join them, being all managed by Robert Stone? Billie Kay after the breakup of the Iconics with a heel turn on Peyton Royce? Nikki Cross joining after losing, what we will find out sooner, her women's championship match against Bayley at Extreme Rules coming up, and breaking down and attacking Alexa Bliss? Or Shotzi Blackheart just because she needs something to do?
Ooh. Torn between Shotzi and
this is a heel
Nikki
faction,
Cross.
too. This is a heel faction, so. I also thought maybe, if not Robert Stone, if you choose the other three, managed by Paige.
I go Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross?
Yeah. I think she's I don't want to say she's missing something. I feel like WWE took something from her.
The insanity kind of gimmick? Yeah. I would choose Shotzi. I just think she kind of like appeals more to like a Ruby Riott, Rhea Ripley. But Liv Morgan has like that mental ability that maybe Nikki Cross also has.
Yeah.
You know, you call them like the Twisted Sisters or whatever. I don't fucking know.
We're not good.
Let's see here. Oh wait, no. The question was on the other page.
Yeah.
If somebody was to break Karrion Kross's winning streak, because he is on a winning streak right now, so somewhere down the line, eventually he's going to have to lose. Who's he going to lose to?
I would think either like a Djokovic or a Lee. Like a super powerhouse.
Do you see him losing in NXT? Because I don't see him losing until he gets to Raw or SmackDown. Because, I think eventually he's going to end up on Raw. Which will probably fucking feed him to fucking Seth Rollins.
Or I was thinking he's going...
Or Drew. Ooh, McIntyre?
I could see that going a nice series of matches, though.
Yeah. I can see McIntyre taking his win streak away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, nope. That's all I got for NXT. Cool.
AEW Dynamite.
Yes, AEW still a thing.
Yes, it's still a thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. This is probably one of the better Dynamites I've watched.
I'll tell you what. If you want to help promote the podcast and help us incur some kind of income for some future projects we have and on the back burner, if you will.
Back burner.
Yeah. Go to patreon.com/JFW podcast. There's so many tiers there from $1 to $20, and every tier gives you prizes. Prizes from the additional tier above it. So the more money you spend, the more stuff you get. Be part of the Patreon team, just like Becky and Brandy are, so shout out to you guys. Again, patreon.com/JFW podcast. Sign up today and help out JFW become more than what they are right now, which is the greatest faction in podcast history.
It's going to be the greatest faction in the world.
The world.
Ready?
Yes, I'm good.
So AEW opens up with a lumberjack match.
Which I'm glad. I'm glad there's a lumberjack match.
One of my favorite matches.
Right. It's been a long time since we've seen a lumberjack match.
And this is a good lumberjack match too. It was Luchasaurus versus Wardlow. Wardlow is MJF's bodyguard. Man, these guys were all over the place.
Big dudes.
Big dudes.
Big fucking dudes.
The shit that they were doing was ridiculous. So it got to the point where they spilled out onto the stage, and Wardlow threw Marco Stunt into the crowd, the wrestlers, and then Luchasaurus kicks Wardlow into the crowd, and then he does, what was it? A shooting star press into the crowd. This big ass dude doing a shooting star press into the crowd. It was just all over the place. It was awesome. It went back and forth. Wardlow actually ends up picking up the win by doing a low blow and then hitting him with what they called an F10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So picture the F5, but he like tosses him in the air and he kind of spins a little bit and hits the ground.
Somebody else did that. There's another wrestler who did that move. Like the standing, like spin and flip.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I think it was Matt Morgan.
It might have been Matt Morgan.
It might have been Matt Morgan. Which he should have been fucking champion at some point.
I heard he was a douche, though.
Oh, yeah. Come on. He's a Harvard graduate or Yale graduate. That's a real thing. He literally sent his fucking DNA off to be tested. Or sent into space or something. Yeah, that's real.
He's the genetic...
Yeah.
The genetic freak.
The blueprint.
The blueprint, that's what it was.
Yeah.
They went to a quick little vignette. Techniques by Taz, which was just basically a video homage to Brian Cage.
Okay.
I love the pairing of Cage and Taz.
Yeah.
It works. And
oh yeah, well especially like you saw how it unfolded in the I believe it was not last week but 2 weeks ago when Brian Cage took out Moxley in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talked about that too.
Because I'm sorry for cutting you off here, but it's kind of like Taz is almost like more of like a handler than a manager.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Brock and Paul Heyman.
Right.
Like I don't want to call him advocate. It's more of like a hey, listen, man, like let's just save it. Let's just save it. If you hurt him now, you don't get a title match later. And shit like that. Yeah. It's almost like a handler, not a great handler, but a handler nonetheless.
Taz is like, no, don't do that. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, I guess he did it.
Taz is like, meh. Taz looks good though. He looks better than what he has in the past.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's kind of working on himself because he was one of my favorites from ECW.
Yeah, it was a shame because he's one of those guys whose career ended too soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the respect he deserved in WWE.
Many ECW guys did.
Yeah. Women's champion Sheeta took on Red Velvet. It's basically a squash match, but before the match, Penelope Ford was out on the outside of the ring, slapped Sheeta. So as soon as that bell rings, Sheeta just hits this girl with a running knee, and then the Falcon Arrow was her finisher. Boom. Squash match. Seconds. 10 seconds tops, maybe. They do a press conference between Team Cody and Jack Hagar is supposed to be there for the TNT title, but Hagar didn't show up. So you got all these people asking questions, and all of a sudden Hagar shows up. They do a photo op, and Hager stands there like this, and Cody's like this, and then Hager does this little thing right here, and
the MMA stuff. Yeah.
Cody slaps it out of him, and he turns around, and then the woman that came with Hagar grabs a cup of water and throws it on Cody, and they walk away. Didn't even say it. Hager really didn't say nothing. He doesn't really need to.
Yeah. He's a dominant dude. I mean, he's probably one of the few who were able to go to MMA after wrestling and fucking like succeed at it.
Right.
Him and Brock. I mean, like realistically, like I don't know how Lashley's MMA career was. We
Lashley
all know
wasn't
about Punk's, but
Yeah, Lashley's wasn't bad. He did Bellator though. I don't know what really the difference is, but
I think it's just like Ring of Honor did to AEW. It's just different names, same fucking fighting.
So then next up was this weird promo video. With George.
I know AEW does a lot of vignettes. There's a lot of like video packages. Yeah. Not so much promos, but video packages. Yeah.
So it's Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss, who is an interesting character. Kind of reminds me of
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
Orlando Jordan and
there you go.
Flamboyant,
but I'll get to the match after this. But they're driving around in a car. They pull up to a gas station. Janela goes in, and Sonny Kiss is pumping gas, and these guys, gang members, whatever they are, come start messing with him, her. I don't know what to call. They called her.
Them.
I don't want to say it either because that's kind of disrespectful.
You go with them.
Them. So, and then...
It's hard, right? It's hard being politically correct right now, right?
It's very hard because, I don't want to offend this person at all because what...
Let's talk about wrestling for a second. Let me ask you. Is it more offensive to assume it or to ask it?
I would think to assume it.
Right? Like, if you go to somebody like, I'm sorry, are you sir or ma'am? Wouldn't that be more offended to them because you should assume what they are?
See, I think if you ask, that would be more proper. Like, I can't just walk up to...
Like, I mean, there's always common sense when you look at it.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a male who decides that they want to be female, then they dress feminine, they do their hair and makeup and all that
call them her.
Or vice versa. Yes, a woman who decides she wants to be a man, cuts their hair short, takes testosterone, grows, beard and all that. Him. But when you have somebody like this character... shaved head, or a buzz down haircut, which is very, which is common in both male and females and everything like that. Kind of like the flamboyant look, which we've seen in Orlando Jordan, in Velveteen Dream. I don't remember the wrestler, but Cody Rhodes faced him a couple weeks ago for the TNT title. I can't remember his name.
Ricky Starks? No, that wasn't Ricky Starks.
No, I can't remember his name. He was almost kind of flamboyant. He was an African American kid. I just can't remember his name. It was a couple weeks ago. But there's always like the outfits and stuff you wear, like you can never really decide. So it's like, where do you stand now, saying like him, her, or do you just kind of assume and go from there? Because when I first saw this promo a couple weeks ago when he got picked up at the bar, I assumed it was a woman, but I don't really know.
Right.
And I don't watch a lot of AEW, I can be honest about that. And I don't want to sound like I'm ignorant, so ease up there. But you really don't know, especially in this era. This isn't something that, especially, with me, you being in your mid-30s, me being in my 30s, we never had to grow up with stuff like this. So, I get, people who are, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, it's all new to them, and they could adapt to it sooner. But when you get someone our age, or even our father's ages and stuff like that, when it's like... Yeah. And people think it's ignorant because they're set in their ways. Like, do something for 40 fucking years.
My whole thing, like I said, I obviously being part of this podcast, being under Freaknet Studios, I have to obviously conduct myself with a certain level of respect for other people.
Well, we always try to be as respectful as possible to both men and women.
Not only here, but in my outside life too, because I got to be that responsible parent for my kids. So it's like, to me, I'm going to ask you, if I can't tell which one you want to be, or if you're pansexual or whatever, that's cool. It doesn't affect me. I don't give a shit. But for me to properly address you, I may ask you, just so I don't offend you in the future.
I'm gonna guess. That's gonna be.
You're gonna guess.
That's my life now. I'm gonna guess. Like, how you doing, sir? Anyways, pro wrestling.
Yeah,
pro wrestling. See, we too could talk about other things.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling though.
All right, so the promo, I like the video. It was pretty cool.
The vignettes are good.
Yeah,
I think
the vignettes are
I
good.
think they're a little too much at times, but they are good. Too many, not too much, but too many. But
and Janela comes out and he's got like a donut and all these groceries and he sees the fight going on, so he joins the fight. Sonny Kiss does what I call the Johnny Cage punch. Goes down and splits and punches the guy in the nuts. It was good. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. Cut to the match. It's Colt Cabana and Brody Lee versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. And I tell you what, this Sonny Kiss, he or she is just phenomenal in the ring. They are just phenomenal in the ring. I mean, doing all kinds of... Brody Lee was actually... To see him unwatered down too was nice. Yeah. Came to a point where Brody Lee pushed Colt Cabana out of the way and he took a hit from Joey Janela. Lee discus lariats Janela and gives Cabana the pin. So he's trying to get Cabana to join the order.
Which I think inevitably is going to happen.
I think it's going to happen. I think it makes sense. I think it's going to be a big swerve because of Colt Cabana's character is, from what I remember, has kind of always been on the lighter side.
Yeah. But I think he's also really big into swerves, like when he ended up suing CM Punk.
Yeah.
No one saw that one coming.
At the end of the match, Lance Archer comes out and attacks Kiss. And then Janela throws a chair at him. And he just kind of swats it down. And then beats the piss out of... And then Jake the Snake has to come out and fucking stop him from just stomping a muzzle in his ass. As you can see, I did my homework.
You're doing stuff, man.
I was doing stuff.
You are doing stuff.
Match of the night for me was this next one.
Okay.
I loved it. I'd talk to you a little bit about it. SCU versus FTR. And it was Daniels and Kaz, no Scorpio Sky. But these guys just went back and forth. They did a power bomb neck breaker. SCU did it to one of the guys, FTR. FTR kind of changed their look just a little bit. They don't have the big thing. Their ring entrance, they came in a nice, like, hot rod pickup truck.
I do like that.
I'm going back and forth.
When they debuted it, I really liked it.
I'm going back and forth, bouncing around in the match, but as it comes to my head, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
This match it was going either way, and I really got invested. Yeah. So when you get invested in those matches like that, it just makes it that much better. Yeah. FTR wins, hitting the Goodnight Express, formerly known as the Shatter Machine, and then FTR puts the whole tag team division on notice. They're playing with the big boys now. The Butcher and the Blade got in their truck, and they started talking shit. And then the Lucha Bros were behind them in the ring, and it all breaks out. They challenge them to an 8-man tag between the Butcher, the Blade, the Lucha Bros, FTR, and the Young Bucks. And that's going to happen at Frighter Fest in the next 2 weeks. Brian Cage took on some Lackey.
Now, I noticed between AEW, Impact, and WWE, there's a lot of matches on AEW.
Yeah.
In a 2-hour span. How long are these actual matches?
Some of them aren't that long. I'm pretty sure that this SCU FTR match was the longest.
At 10, 12 minutes?
Probably.
Okay.
But go ahead. It's either that one or the Lumberjack match. Cage versus Cruz. Cage has been winning in less than 3 minutes in most of his matches. He just fucks his skin
Goldberg?
Up. Yeah.
Fucking Goldberg? Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Taz tears into Mox in a great promo, calling him a lazy ass. In reality, Renee Young was around someone with a COVID, so she had to get locked down, so he had to get locked down. Towards the end, and Brody Lee and Colt Cabana show up, challenge SCU for a tag team match. And Cabana was like, SCU? Because SCU is a well-rounded team.
Well, I think they're actually friends, too.
Yeah.
Right? When Colt Cabana came in, wasn't he...
Oh, that's right.
Team with SCU inside it? So I don't know AEW.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, he did his stupid little Superman pin.
Britt Baker sits off to the side now in this little cage thing. She sends messages to Tony Schiavone. It's real stupid. Big Swole, who is this massive black woman who comes up.
She's married to Rich Swann, right?
I think so.
I know it's either Rich Swann or Cedric Alexander.
It might be Cedric Alexander.
I know she's married to somebody. I know when I saw her, I was like, fuck, reminds me of Jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she gets on top of this thing, and she just dumps trash all over Britt Baker. I can't stand Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Even though she is really...
Adam Cole's girlfriend?
Yeah, whatever.
Britt Baker DDS?
Yeah.
Adam Cole's girlfriend. She was seen on fucking TakeOver.
Yeah, and Triple H apologized to her. Santana took on Matt Hardy. It was a decent match. Matt, he still puts on a good match, but you can see in his face.
It's time.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time.
It's time for him to take a step back. And even he said that in a couple promos that he did with AEW. He's like, I got all this vast wealth of knowledge. So he's taking Private Party under his wing to, give him the Hardy Boy treatment, I guess. Yeah. Hardy ended up picking up the win, but then got jumped by Ortiz afterwards, and Private Party came out to get him. And then the face-off. Orange Cassidy comes out to the ring to meet Chris Jericho. Jericho cuts into Orange Cassidy. He's like, if you do that stupid kick me in the shin thing, I'm going to knock your teeth out. I don't know why AEW signed you and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just rip this kid apart. Well, Cassidy grabs the mic, throws the mic down, starts doing this shin kick thing to him. They get into it. They sprawl all over. Almost like empty arena fight. Towards the end, Jericho is on this case. Cassidy comes running down these stairs, jumps up, Superman punches him into a table.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's nice because it seems like Jericho's kind of giving back to the young talent.
Yeah.
Which he should.
I don't think Jericho's never been that guy not to. So
let me segue that into one of my questions. I don't want to interrupt you. You're almost done.
No, it's that's it. They did a cool promo with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega at the end, who are fighting who are taking on the Best Friends. Mm-hmm. It should be a good match. I don't think Page and Omega are going to last very long.
It's God, what the fuck is that? Powder cake.
Yeah,
cake. Yeah.
But they are good together. Their finisher is pretty fucking cool.
It's like a mega power tag.
Yeah.
Nice. SmackDown, like I says, not a whole lot. A lot of it was a tribute to The Undertaker because, like I said, he did kind of announce his retirement on the last episode of the documentary. So they showed a brief video package of his debut at the November Survivor Series in 1990. We saw a bunch of legends and Hall of Famers kind of talk about him. Batista, Mick Foley, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Edge, Christian, Bret Hart, Kane, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. A lot of it, I think, were just kind of clips taken away from the documentary. They weren't really sit down and doing them kind of things.
No Jeff Hardy?
No.
Really?
No. But Jeff Hardy's here. Jeff Hardy is part of this in a way. Jesus? You calling it?
Tech.
Fucking goddamn, like was it? Am I fucking Mr. T at the Hall of Fame? They showed the last match he had with AJ Styles at WrestleMania in the Boneyard match in its entirety. Corbin came out, said the Taker was a kiss ass in McMahon's, that he held a lot of talent down over the career, which caused Jeff Hardy to come out and interfere in that. And speaking of keeping wrestlers and people down, I have a question for you, Jay.
All right.
Who held more talent down throughout their career? Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Triple H, or Shawn Michaels in the 90s?
Hogan.
Hogan? You think so?
I think so. There's a lot of I've read more. I think I've read more bad about Hogan.
Yeah. So I would say Cena, man.
Do you think Cena had that power, though?
Yes. Yes, I do. Maybe not intentionally, but he didn't help him either. So. This fight between Corbin and Jeff Hardy led to a match to happen later on in the evening. There was a fatal four-way match for number one contendership for the SmackDown title at Extreme Rules with Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Dana Brooks, and Lacey in a fatal four-way which Cross picked up the win with a fucking
Armbar?
no fucking it's not a small package, but roll-up. Fucking roll-up pin on Lacey. 8-man tag, New Day and Lucha House Party took on Shinsuke and Cesaro, teaming with Miz and Morrison. New Day picked up the win. Braun cut a promo on Bray, challenging him to the Swamp match at Extreme Rules House of Horrors, which was pretty good because he's talking about, like, if I'm going to walk out there, either the evil son bitch I used to be or overcoming your evilness and blah, blah, blah. Told a story about some water moccasin slithering out of the swamp, biting Bray Wyatt in the face, and all he did was laugh. It was a good promo. Finally, main event, Hardy took on Corbin. Ended up being a lumberjack match.
Really?
Yep, because Corbin kept trying to run away, and everyone was pissed about Corbin's bad mouth of the Taker. Ultimately, Hardy picked up the win. We saw New Day come in and help out Jeff Hardy after being a post-match attack on Corbin. Braun Strowman came in, gave him the power slam, and then Matt Riddle came in and offered him sex. No, I'm kidding. Did a somersault from the top rope, and they all ended with a picture of the Undertaker on the Titantron to close out the show. So some other follow-up questions I have here.
Okay.
So I did that one.
I kind of like this.
How do you feel about the Extreme Rules Horror Show? That's what the title is. Extreme Rules Horror Show.
If it lives up to that title, cool.
Yeah.
But again, like we talked about earlier, Extreme Rules has been very disappointing and lacking on those Extreme Rules.
Yeah. I think it's kind of good because it kind of gives you like an in-your-house rock bottom. In your house, stuff like that. Or an NXT takeover, like Starcade, some goofy shit like that. I think the fact that they subtitled it was a little weird.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Bray Wyatt gimmick made a return?
I think he's trying to use anything to beat Braun.
Okay.
And then I also think they're going to try to build him like Foley in his... But I think Bray Wyatt does it a little bit better. Because he just... I don't know. I like Bray Wyatt. I'm a big fan of Bray Wyatt.
Gotcha.
I would like to see him outside WWE, honestly.
Okay. Well, I mentioned to you earlier how I was watching a lot of things on Facebook, like, this day in history. And even when you got here today, I was kind of watching, like, the many title wins of Eddie Guerrero.
Right.
So I want you to rank these 5 wrestlers who appeared in ECW, WCW, and WWF in order. Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and Raven.
I would go Eddie, Ray, Ben.
Is this 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
1 to 5.
So Eddie's number 1.
Eddie's number 1.
Okay.
Then Ray's number 2.
Okay.
Who were the other ones?
Jericho, Benoit, and Raven.
Jericho would be next.
Okay.
Benoit, then Raven. I was a bigger fan of Raven when he was in WCW.
I was a bigger fan of Raven when he was in ECW.
See, I don't remember him too much from ECW.
It's a lot of, like, highlights and, like, remembering stuff like that. Do you think Tessa Blanchard's going to end up in WWE or AEW? Which one, if you had to choose? WWE or AEW? NXT, I guess, more than WWE, obviously, but...
I think it'll be about a year before she signs with either. Just because they're going to want some of this stuff to wash over.
Okay.
But I believe it'd be NXT.
NXT?
Yeah. Because AEW was taking a pretty hard stand against Sammy Guevara.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the only reason she got fired is because she didn't honor some dates. It's not like she did anything.
Right.
It wasn't, it wasn't that she was propositioning people for sex or harassing people. She just didn't honor some dates. She stayed at home in Mexico.
When they're also talking about how she used racial slurs, too, against that girl.
Yeah, wasn't that like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, ready to talk about some pay-per-views?
I am.
Excellent.
I took anything that WWE possibly owned, so that's how.
Well, that's what I did. So I went with any previous WWE pay-per-view or anything from WCW.
I did ECW too.
Oh, nice. I was thinking about doing ECW, but there was so many to fucking figure out. Like, honestly, like, even when I made the list, I scratched some stuff out and kind of switched things here and there. But for January, keep Royal Rumble.
The same.
Yeah, right? So, I mean, I think that's just a given. All right, so what for February? What'd you do February?
February I did Elimination Chamber.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I went with Cyber Sunday. I like the fan interaction,
Cyber Sunday
kind
is
of.
cool.
Yeah, like it gives the fans an opportunity, especially in a social media world, to doing the votes and stuff on Facebook and Twitter and all that other stuff. I think it'd be great to do. What about March, man?
Money in the Bank.
See, Money in the Bank is one I forgot about. See, you caught it. I went with No Way Out. I was always a big fan of the No Way Out pay-per-view. But see, like, and that was another thing too, because like I said, there's a lot of them that are there, is out there. I'll mention some of the ones that I would have gone with as alternative, because I don't want to say one that you already did until I get to it. So March I did go with No Way Out. April I stuck with WrestleMania.
I stuck with WrestleMania too. My whole reasoning for Money in the Bank before WrestleMania is because I thought that would be way more interesting. That,
like, could there be a cash-in?
Yeah.
I gotcha. That makes sense. I wouldn't mind it even like being like Money in the Bank being just a match at WrestleMania.
See, I also enjoyed that too, because I was thinking the same thing, because that's where it originated.
Yeah, well, one of the things I tried to avoid by doing this is I didn't want to use a name of a match stipulation as part of a pay-per-view. So, like, when they did Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank, Fatal 4-Way was even a fucking, stuff like that. I tried to avoid those because those could be great matches within even the big four pay-per-views, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and stuff like that, which I'm assuming you also kept.
Yes.
Okay. May, I went with Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view.
I went with Extreme Rules.
Okay. I was looking to see if I had Extreme Rules on here, but I don't. May, I went with One Night Stand, the ECW pay-per-view. So look at that. I guess I did do it.
King of the Ring.
Oh, yeah, King of the Ring.
From beginning to end. Had the whole tournament right there.
Right. And even the coronation at the end and everything. Yeah, I would like that. July, I went with Bash at the Beach from WCW.
Clash of Champions.
Nice. August, I went with SummerSlam.
Same.
September, I went with WCW's Fall Brawl.
Super Brawl.
Ooh, same.
Yeah.
I think they fucking, like, half their fucking pay-per-views either had the word brawl or bash in it.
Yeah.
God damn it. October, Halloween Havoc.
Oh, of course. We talked about that.
Yeah, it had to be Halloween. The fact that they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's retarded that they haven't done that yet.
November, Survivor Series.
Definitely.
And then for December, I went Armageddon.
December to dismember.
ECW? Nice.
ECW.
Yeah. I always knew, like, if I ever had a wrestling company of my own, one of my pay-per-views would be called Hell Frozen Over.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Right? I know I have a book somewhere of all my old wrestling shit that I used to talk about with your brother, and I think a little bit of you. I know we had a bunch of people, like even Rosie and shit like that, but I had like a list of pay-per-view names and stuff. Payback was one of them until fucking WWE stole it.
I think I remember that we actually made some matches too at one point.
Oh yeah, we made some match cards and stuff. Yeah, because we're gonna have Cell Block there. Yeah. Rosie was Machete. You're Gabriel Righteous. I think I was General Assassin because Travis-T wasn't a thing at that moment. And there was a lot of different things. I think Chad was Havoc, but AOVIK, it was spelled differently than what Sandman was in WCW.
Yeah.
We had a couple women's wrestlers. I think a Cobra we were talking about bringing in, which was weird because even before the company even existed, I had an independent wrestler reach out to me on MySpace. That's how old this is. About being booked on a show. And I don't know if you guys know this independent wrestler, but, oh God, what the fuck was his name? It was a vampire gimmick. Oh God, what the hell was it?
Vampiro?
Bloody Harker Dirge.
Bloody Harker Dirge?
Harker Dirge. D-I-R-G-E. I believe it was Harker Dirge. I know it's definitely Bloody something Dirge, but I think it was Harker. If you guys know an independent wrestler named Dirge, I believe he also trained some wrestlers at a school. But he was the first independent wrestler to reach out to me to be booked in a wrestling company that didn't exist. So I think
that we didn't even start.
What was it called?
Oh man, what did we call it?
It was Southland Wrestling Society or something like that.
Because I knew we'd...
I think it was called Southland Wrestling Society or South...
I think
Midwest. It was like Midwest Wrestling Society or something. I know it was Wrestling Society. Might have been Midwest or Midway. I don't fucking know.
So it was either SMS or like...
I do know that I named the playlist on my iPod in my truck, and I can easily look at it when we're done here.
Oh,
Oh, God. All right, Jay, what is your holy shit and who gives a shit for the week?
Holy shit is Tessa Blanchard getting fired.
Yep.
No one gives a shit. Man, Impact.
Yeah.
The show... I was a big fan for a long time, and it just kind of... Too much background stuff. Get in the ring. Do the work. Show me the talent that's there. Yeah. I know there's talent there. Willie Mack, Rich Swann. I think Swan's actually hurt at the moment, but the talent's there. Use it.
I agree on the holy shit with Tessa being fired. I get that, she's not honoring dates and everything, but I mean, especially with the COVID thing and her living outside the country in Mexico, I mean, travel is hard to do. I know they were talking about her doing vignettes and stuff from her house. Now, the reason she didn't do that, maybe that's personal, that's up to her, but it was shocking because she was champion. They stripped her of the title and fired her. I don't recall that ever really being a thing that I heard of. I don't think WWE or WCW stripped and fired somebody before that I can remember.
The only thing that come close would probably be Kennedy, but they made him lose the Money in the Bank on TV.
Yeah. My who gives a shit is Dolph's title match at Extreme Rules. It just seems like a filler thing to give, fucking Corbin a different match, a different wrestler to fight. So, Dizzle J's pick of the week.
Orange Cassidy versus Pac at AEW Revolution. I think this match really showcased Orange Cassidy. Obviously, we know Pac is good. Mm-hmm. Pac's been all over. He's the son bitch. Yeah. Check it out. These guys are just amazing. Orange Cassidy, what he's been able to do with his hands in his pockets is crazy.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Guys, just a reminder that Just Freakin Wrestling, the JFW podcast, is part of Freaknet Studios. Make sure you go to freaknetstudios.com and check out the other podcasts we have that are associated with the brand, just like This Freakin' Show, Just Freakin Wrestling, and The Gray Area. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching Just Freakin Wrestling, which is released every single week on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Twitter. God, not Twitter. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, and video on YouTube. All you gotta do is search Just Freakin Wrestling or JFW Podcast. That's all I got.
Time to ring the bell on this episode.
Perfect. As always, I am Travis-T.
I'm Dizzle J.
And thank you for listening to our episode of Just Freakin Wrestling, the JFW Podcast.
Peace.